from Kern Government Television. Welcome to this week's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting. Originating from the County Administrative Center, located at 1115 Truxton Avenue in Bakersfield, California. Grounded in ideas, energy, and innovation, Kern County's vision is to be a driving force for the world's fifth largest economy. And our mission is to exceed expectations of the communities we serve, changing the way they feel about government, those who manage it, and the services it provides. Today's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting will convene momentarily.
Okay, board to reconvene. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Supervisor Peters.
Here.
Supervisor Scribner.
Here.
Supervisor Flores.
Here.
Supervisor Couch.
Here.
Supervisor Perez.
Here.
Okay, good afternoon and welcome to the Tuesday, December 19th, 2 p.m. meeting of the Kern County Board of Supervisors. First, we'll hear a report from County Counsel, Ms. Margot Raison, for a report on actions taken in closed session.
Good afternoon, Chairman Flores, board members. This morning in closed session, you met on items 38, 39, 40, and 41. 42 was continued until January 9th. And on those items that you did meet and hear about, there is no reportable action.
Thank you, Ms. Raison. And speaking of closed session, our apologies for us being tardy. We did have a long extended closed session, so thank you for your indulgence. At this time, we'll begin the consent agenda. All items listed with a CA or C above the item number are considered to be routine and non-controversial by county staff. The CA represents the consent agenda for the Board of Supervisors, and the C represents the consent agenda for the Kern Sanitation Authority. Consent agenda items will be considered first and may be approved by one motion. If a member of the audience wishes to comment or ask questions regarding an item on the consent agenda, they may do so prior to a vote being taken. A member of the board may remove any item from the consent agenda, and it will be considered in listed sequence with an opportunity for any member of the public to address the board concerning the item before action is taken. At this time, I'll read the consent agenda item numbers for the Board of Supervisors agenda. On page 2, item 4. On page 3, items 5 through 9. On page 4, items 10 through 16. On page 5, items 17 through 21, including 23. Page 6, items 24 through 30. Page 7, items 34 through 38. Page 8, items 40 through 45. And on page 9, items 46 through 48. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to, pardon me. And on, page 9, items 46 through 48. Is there another one?
Mr. Chairman, do you have items 49 through 52 matters for executive approval?
No, thank you.
Okay.
And 49 through 52, thank you for that.
Okay.
Is there any member of the audience that would like to comment on any of the consent agenda items? Now is the time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have some comments for the board.
Sure.
This is with regard to item 39. May I proceed or come back later?
You can come back when we hear that item. It'll be off consent. Thank you. Any more public comment on consent agenda only? Okay. Seeing none.
Motion on consent.
So this will be.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda and to adjourn as the Board of Supervisors and reconvene as the Kern Sanitation Authority.
Thank you. Please cast your vote.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Okay, we are now.
Supervisor Couch, can you reconfirm your vote, please? Thank you. The motion is approved. All ayes.
Thank you. We are now sitting as the Kern Sanitation Authority and will consider the consent agenda, which includes item C1. Is there any member of the audience that would like to talk about that consent item? Okay. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda and adjourn as the Kern Sanitation Authority and reconvene as the Board of Supervisors.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Please cast your vote.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Thank you. We reconvened as the Board of Supervisors and will consider item 2, public presentations. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons to address the board on any matter not on the agenda, but under the jurisdiction of the board. Board members may respond briefly to statements made or questions posed. They may ask a question for clarification, make a referral to staff for factual information, or request staff to report back to the board at a later meeting. Also, the board may take action to direct the staff to place a matter of business on a future agenda. Speakers are limited to 2 minutes. Please state and spell your name before making your presentation. Any public comment? Now is the time. Okay, seeing none, we will move to item number 3, board member announcements or reports. Okay. Seeing none, we will also move to item number 22. Under County Administrative Office. This is a public hearing on proposed ordinance amending Chapter 8.30, Title 8, Camping and placing personal effects in public areas to the Kern County Ordinance Code to add special enforcement zones, specify prohibited acts, and update property removal procedures for the preservation and protection of public areas. Mr. Jim Zervis, would you please lead us out on staff presentation? Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Flores. This ordinance, and this is a public hearing, and so we'll be recommending that your board open the hearing and receive public comment. The proposed ordinance is updates to Chapter 8.30 of our Code of Ordinances. That section was added back in October of 2021 to deal specifically with anti-camping. It was an anti-camping ordinance, making it illegal to camp in certain public spaces, public rights-of-way, blocking sidewalks and entrances to businesses, those areas. And so that your board took that action back in October, and since then, it really kicked off a number of efforts that the county has implemented over the past several years to try to curb the public camping and encampments issue. And this is with respect to public property. So this doesn't deal with private property if someone is camping on a private parcel, for example. This is in the public right-of-way that we're talking about. So streets, sidewalks, public parks, public buildings, those types of areas. This proposed update to the ordinance does a couple of things, and this is strategic, and it follows up on what we have learned and best practices over the past 2 years of implementing a number of things, including our rapid response enforcement teams to enforce the anti-camping ordinances and those provisions, but also in setting up safe camping spaces to make sure that we have appropriate places for folks that are homeless to camp, expanding our shelter availabilities, both at the city, the county, as well as some of our other providers. So really expanding those opportunities for folks that are suffering in homelessness to get off the streets. That's really important because before we can enforce an anti-camping ordinance, we have to have places for folks to go. And so we've been focused on that and building out that network of services, both housing services and services from folks like behavioral health, with our roam teams and others going out and trying to meet the needs of those homeless individuals and get them off the street. So we focused on that. Most recently, we are under construction and really in final construction phases with the Tiny Homes project over in Oildale. And if you haven't been there, I'd encourage you to drive by. It really is coming along nicely. That's 50 units. It will be a fully managed, non-congregate setting. And in the course of that, we also took an opportunity to review our anti-camping ordinance, Section 8.30. In regards to, what other jurisdictions are doing, what other tools may be out there to help us deal with this issue. And we're bringing forth today as an update, a proposed update to that ordinance. And it focuses on a number of things, and I'm going to speak a little specifically on 2 of them. But really what this ordinance does is it further defines the personal effects to include personal identification and similar documents. So that's the materials that are personal effects of individuals that are in homelessness and how we deal with those. It will prohibit camping, sitting, placing personal effects, or lying down with the intent to camp at all times where such activity poses an immediate threat or unreasonable risk to harm to any person, to public health or safety, or disruption to essential government services. So that is stronger language because it immediately prohibits those activities when it deals with public health and interruption of delivery of government services as mentioned in the ordinance. It also prohibits camping, sitting, lying down with the intent to camp within 500 feet of the entrance or exit to a senior center. This is specifically was added because of the proximity to the Rasmussen Senior Center of our Oildale project. We, in the original ordinance, had called out a number of facilities where it was illegal to camp within 500 feet of sensitive areas such as schools, daycares, veteran services, these types of issues. And so we've added senior centers to that list. It had been inadvertently not included in the original draft of that ordinance, so now we're adding that. And then the additional provisions is that this new ordinance would really allow the board to establish special enforcement zones, including posted signage in special locations due to a particular and ongoing threat to health and safety and welfare via a board resolution. And a template is included as part of our presentation. If this ordinance is approved, we will be bringing forth a special enforcement zone resolution with the adoption of this ordinance January 9th. And so what a special enforcement zone is typically, it's not allowed, you're not allowed to camp on a public right-of-way, so a sidewalk, for example, where you're blocking access. The provisions of our anti-camping ordinance require a 72-hour notice. So what happens is there's an encampment blocking a sidewalk or a business. We post a sign, or post a notice. We have to post that for 72 hours before our teams can go in and actually clear the encampment. What this provision does, and it's used in several other jurisdictions, is it creates a zone that is tied to a particular area of concern to say, we will post permanent signage within this zone that your board approves, and there is no more notice required. So immediate action can be taken to clear encampments. So the first one of these special enforcement zones we have planned will be around the tiny home project in Oildale to protect not only the Rasmussen Senior Center, but also the surrounding residential areas kind of east of North Chester and backing up to the riverbed and all the way up to Manor and then north a few blocks. And we'll show that to you on the 9th when we bring forth the actual resolution. But to make it really clear, what this update does is allows your board to create a special enforcement zone where the 72-hour notice is no longer required, where we can immediately dispatch whether it's rangers or sheriff's deputies or code enforcement to go in and immediately clear an encampment because your board has already made the proper findings and we've been able to post that area ahead of time and with permanent signage. So that's one of the biggest updates within this ordinance. It is a public hearing, so there's a few other kind of non-substantive updates within the ordinance as well. This has been a combined work of County Council, the CAO's office, and Public Works, and looking at other jurisdictions and what tools they've used in the past to help strengthen anti-camping ordinances. And that's really what we're bringing forth to you today. This is, again, a public hearing, so we'll recommend that your board open the public hearing, receive public comment, subsequently close the public hearing eventually, and make the findings with regards to CEQA exemptions and authorize the county administrative office to file the notice of exemption and waive the first reading and introduce the ordinance. The ordinance would come back to your board for adoption on January 9th and then would be effective 30 days after that, so February, early February, February 9th. That's roughly about the time the Oildale tiny home project will be opening, will be in February. So construction on that project should be complete in mid-January. And you'll all be invited, obviously, to that, and look forward to having you out there. So with that, I'll leave it to your board to open up the public hearing, and I'm available to answer any questions
Before
from
I
the
open the
public.
hearing, thank you, Mr. Zervis, for your overview of the amendments of the ordinance. Supervisor Peters would like to have a comment.
Thank you. I want to say thank you as well for your staff's work on this and county council's work. I think this is important for our community. One question that I did have was, so areas that are outside of this special enforcement area, you had mentioned that we have to post it for 3 days. And my question is, when we post something like that, are we posting that the encampment itself is a violation, or the encampment at a specific address is a violation? Because I don't want to create a situation where that encampment can just move across the street every 3 days and then we have to post it again and then they move again. So can you explain a little bit more about how that works?
Yeah, we post the immediate area around it so they wouldn't move across the street. Now they could move to the next block. And we would probably have to repost that. But it's not a matter of, hey, 5 feet down the sidewalk is a different location. We posted it covers that general area.
Okay.
And usually, once we post it, folks that are in those types of encampments, they typically relocate fairly quickly to a different area. So, which, our goal is to get them off the street. But, disrupting the encampments is part of the strategy to eventually, hopefully, get them willing to accept help and come into one of our shelters.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I know that's the ideal outcome, but maybe there's something that we could do to look at doing other specialized enforcement zones. Maybe, like I know in our downtown area, this has become a huge problem. And I know that there's a lot of concern out there. So just something that I'd like us to keep looking at and moving forward with in the future.
Yeah, be happy to. This will be our first one. We'll be in Oildale, so it's kind of our trial to see how it goes. We'll learn. We'll get some experience based on that, and then see. We do have to make certain findings. There has to be justification to having a special enforcement zone, and we'll work with your board on other areas potentially that would be helpful. Downtown is City of Bakersfield jurisdiction, so I don't know. They may be considering something similar. I'm not sure, but we'll certainly do what we can to try to work with them on the downtown area.
And I appreciate the clarification. I misspoke. We need to be looking at other critical areas, but also hopefully that could be something that we can work in conjunction with the City of Bakersfield with. But thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you, Supervisor Peters. Not seeing any more board comments or people checking in. At this time, I'd like to open the public hearing on the proposed ordinance amendments. Now's the time for public comment. Does anyone here want to speak on this item? Okay, not seeing none. At this time, I will close the public hearing and bring it back to the board for action.
I'll make a motion on staff's recommendation.
Okay, motion?
Second.
Please cast your vote.
Thank you. The motion is approved. All ayes.
Okay, that brings us to items 31 through 33, and these will be heard concurrently but voted on separately. 31 is an item to identify apparent low responsible bid and approve contract number 1650 7016.22 with Profit Construction for Heritage Park Beautification Enhancement Phase 2. Item 32 is to identify apparent low responsive and responsible bid and approve contract number 1650 7017.22 with Black Hall Construction for Mojave East Beautification Enhancement Phase 1. And number 33 is to identify apparent low responsible bid and approve contract number 1650 7017.22 with Black Hall Construction for Mojave East Park Beautification Enhancement Phase 2. And this will be heard, staff presentation will be by Mr. Jeffrey Hill.
But I think Jim wanted to.
Oh,
Did you want to make comments? No?
no, okay. Next item.
No, Mr. Chairman, Jeffrey Hill, our Chief General Services Officer, will be presenting this item to your board.
Sounds good. Mr. Hill.
Good afternoon, Chairman Flores, members of the board. I'm here again to present some continued good news for improvement in our parks. The items before you are the request to identify the apparent low, responsive, and responsible bid for the contract with Superior Construction for Heritage Park Phase 2 and Black Hall Construction for Mojave East Project Phase 1 and Phase 2. So just really briefly recapping what we've seen before. Heritage Park project consists of site preparation for a new restroom, installation of lights and walking paths, skate park, shaded group picnic area, renovation of the soccer field, improvements at the amphitheater, installation of shaded play structure and mural, upgraded irrigation, and planting of 68 trees. You'll remember your board previously approved the installation of the new toilet building as an additional phase to this overall grant-funded program. Your board approved that last month. And again, just slides 3, 4, and 5 here are give you an indication. There's the our new hardened restrooms that are the standard for all the improvements we're making in our parks. This slide indicates the timeline. The board approved the plans and specifications in October. We had the bid in early in December, and we're here today to approve the contract for Superior Construction for $2,150,000. We have a 6-month timeline for this project, and we've got a notice of completion scheduled for 6/19/2024. The Mojave East project consists of site preparation for the new restroom, addition of a new parking lot, renovation of the basketball court and soccer field, and construction of lighted pathways, a new shaded group picnic pavilion, and updated landscaping, as well as the purchase, placement, anchorage, and utility connections of the prefabricated restroom. Again, this gives you an indication of the various elements within the site and the restroom, again, the hardened restrooms that are our standard. The timeline for the project is your board approved the plans and specs in October, and bid date was 12/5. Contract will be today for 2 elements on this project. One is the Phase 1, which is the restroom purchase and installation, and Phase 2, which is all the remaining work. Black Hall Construction, who's another partner that we use quite frequently, that are successful bidders, got both of those contracts, or will get both of those contracts. And again, notice of completion is set for June 12th on this one. That's really the details of the projects. I do want to take this opportunity to champion the Adopt a Parks project, or Adopt a Park effort. We're happy to work meaningfully with community members to help keep all of our parks in great shape. Opportunities include team cleanups. GS can provide materials and, in some cases, equipment. Eyes and ears reporting, and among other tasks. So all of that Adopt a Park information is available on the Kern County General Services and Parks webpage. So the recommendation today is that your board, for item 31, identify apparent low, responsive, and responsible bid, approve the contract, authorize the Chief General Services Officer or designee to sign, and authorize General Services to release all other bid guarantees. Item 32 is to identify the apparent low, responsive, and responsible bid, approve the contract, authorize General Services Officer to or designee to sign. And for item 33, identify apparent low, responsive, and responsible bid, approve contract, authorize Chief General Services Officer to sign and authorize the General Services Officer to release all other bid guarantees. That's the end of my my presentation, and I'm available for any questions if you have any.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. Appreciate it, and thank you for staff's work on these projects. Obviously, very exciting that we're having such significant investments that continue to occur in our parks throughout the county. We have more to come, and we're going to be excited to hear about those as well. Okay, so at this time, we're going to go to members of the public. Absent any questions from the board at this point, this would be the time to comment on items 31, 32, and 33. If you'd like to make a comment, please come forward.
Supervisor Scrivener, just a quick,
excuse me.
quick question for Mr.
Peters.
Hill. Again, appreciate all your guys' work on this, but the Adopt a Park program, do you know how many parks or partners we've got on that, working with us on that program so far?
We have 2 that are interested. Nobody has completed yet a full application with a scope of work. Yet Team Action Dad does a ton of work in and around Hart Park and up at Panorama. We assisted along with Public Works recently for a big cleanup in the foothills above Hart Park. Our team as well as Public Works, and they're a fantastic group of people. We've approached them about doing an official Adopt a Park effort, and then the NJBA has contacted me about adopting Lake Ming, and because they're a good user of that facility. They haven't submitted an application, but we have been talking to them about it.
Got it. Well, I'll try and help get the word out on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Peters. Supervisor Perez, and then I will turn it back over to the chair.
Thank you, Zach. And thank you for the question, Peters. I have somebody who's ready to go and get started at Bell Terrace. How do we start the process?
Just have them get a hold of me. We'll guide them through the process. Me or Carl Brewer, or they can go on the Kern County Parks webpage, and they'll see the documents. We've got a guide as well as then the interest form, which is what you see on the screen right now. And we'll just engage them, see what they want to do, and move forward. We're excited to have those meaningful interactions.
What's the public number for folks wanting to be involved in Adopt a Park?
I would call 661-868-3000.
Oh, that's easy too.
And ask for parks. That's the General Services line.
And ask for parks.
Ask for somebody in parks. That would be Carl, Matt, or Isaac. You know them all.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank you, Supervisor Perez.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll ask for public comment on all these 3 items. Any public comment? Okay, seeing none, I will bring it back to the board to vote on 31 through 33 individual items.
I'll make a motion on 31.
Okay, motion.
Second.
So please cast your vote.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I forgot, Joe. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Thank you. I meant to say before the motion how exciting these unprecedented investments are. I really appreciate all the love to D5. I know my colleagues, are focused on their districts, and I appreciate the respect and love to D5 that consistently is flowing out. We got a lot of improvement, of course, and a lot of community to engage, and that's what we're doing. So this is just really exciting. So thank you, and in the spirit of that, I made that motion. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have motion second. Please cast your vote.
We voted on that one, right? Okay, so
We already did. Okay.
we did. Okay, so now we're on to item 32, correct, Clerk?
Okay. Yeah.
Madam Clerk, thank you. So I would like to make a motion on this, seeing that it is in District 2. So motion on staff's recommendation.
Second.
Okay, motion second. Please cast your vote.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Okay, this brings us to item 33.
I will move approval of item 33 as well. Thank you.
Okay, motion second. Please cast your vote.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Great, thank you. This brings us to item 39 under the County Administrative Office. This is proposed salary range adjustments from 10.49% to 53.6% for park ranger, senior park ranger, and supervising park ranger and park ranger manager positions effective December 31st, 2023. And Mr. Zervis, you will be leading off this discussion.
I will be. Thank you, Chairman Flores. This particular item kind of builds on two initiatives that your board has been working on for several years now. One is the investment in parks and park spaces, and this item, as we look at our rangers, goes to help preserve and enhance those assets and the safety of those assets. But it also follows your really unprecedented investment in public safety over the past few years, as your board has addressed compensation levels with starting a year ago. Your board approved a 22% pay increase for detentions deputies to deal with vacancies in those classifications, and that effort has shown much success as we start to fill those ranks out. And your board approved 25 new detentions deputies this year in the budget, furthering that effort. This past summer, your board approved a new MOU with KLEA, solidifying a tiered compensation increase with annual increases, helping to bolster those efforts with recruitment and retention bonuses and a number of other efforts by your board to invest in public safety. Park rangers are part of our public safety portfolio, right? They protect not only our parks and public spaces, but they protect many of our public buildings. We have park rangers at the DHS office. We have them in this building. We have them at Child Support Services. We have them in a number of county facilities, and they play an important role in our overall strategy around public safety. And so, as we've addressed compensation at the detention level and the sheriff's deputy level, now we're turning to our park rangers. We did a salary survey and found that we were pretty far behind where the city of Bakersfield was. The city of Bakersfield launched a park ranger program about 2 years ago. So prior to that, the city had no park rangers. They started a program and they set their compensation level higher than us, and we lost some folks to them, and they kind of set the bar there. There are only 3 jurisdictions that I'm aware of that have park rangers. It's Kern County, it's the city of Bakersfield, and north of the river Parks and Recreation District. And NOR, they're not peace officers, but they play an important role in keeping their parks and their assets safe as well. Most of our special districts, park and rec districts, most of our other cities don't have that park ranger function. It's covered just by their law enforcement, police departments, and such for the other cities and special districts. So I say that just to give you a little bit of context for park rangers around Kern County and our team specifically. We're pleased to bring forth an item to you today that's investing about $700,000 into the park ranger program. To fill vacancies, to retain employees, and to really start a foundation to build our park ranger program out in future years as funding's available. So that is the strategy we're undertaking. It is intentionally done to not only make us competitive with the city of Bakersfield at all levels, so we will be competitive with the city if your board approves this item, but it also makes sense within our broader construct of public safety positions, meaning how does it align with the pay for a sheriff's deputy or a detentions deputy or other public safety functions that we have. So we had to be thoughtful in how we approach that to make sure that compensation level made sense. I think we did that with this proposal. I'm going to turn it over to your Chief Human Resources Officer, Mr. Brown, to get into the details. But just to kind of paint the big picture, this is an investment not only in public safety in Kern County, but also within parks in Kern County, and it's appropriate that it comes after your board just approving a substantial investment into park assets at a few of our major parks. So, Mr. Brown.
Thank you. I don't have too much to add. Mr. Zervis covered most of it, but this was initiated by our Chief General Services Officer, Jeff Hill, to review the Park Ranger series for potential salary adjustment. Just for your awareness, the series is 4 different levels with both permanent and extra help classifications in those levels. So we did look at the salaries, particularly the city of Bakersfield, which is our most relevant talent competitor. As Mr. Zervis noted, they just started a park ranger program after they passed their sales tax measure a couple of years ago, and have been successful at attracting some of our park ranger staff who are making less than their city counterparts. So, we looked at the city, this park ranger classification, which is our lowest level, was 53% below the city park ranger 1. Our senior park ranger was 37% below the city park ranger 2. Supervising park ranger, 25.7% below the city park ranger supervisor, and the park ranger manager was almost 9% below the city park ranger manager. A pretty substantial differentiation between where we currently are at and where the city is currently at, which obviously leads to some of the challenges we've had with keeping staff in those positions. Currently, the department has set 64% vacancy rate in its park ranger senior park ranger ranks. They're staffing these vacancies using extra help personnel, which also are competing for those city park ranger positions, which are permanent. We believe that without adjustment, that we'll continue to have challenges in retaining talent within the local market and continue to struggle to fill vacancies. So what we're proposing is for the park ranger level classification, both permanent and extra help, a 53.6% increase in base salary for the senior park ranger series, including both extra help and permanent, a 38.3% increase. The supervising park ranger series, which does not have an extra help classification, a 20.27% salary increase, and then the park ranger manager, which still stands vacant while we're working through leadership of that department at 10.49%. We believe that fits within the broader context of our salary schedule, especially within law enforcement and the sheriff's office positions. We did meet and confer on this with SEIU, which is the represented group representing these positions, and they reached agreement with us on the proposal. The fiscal impact is $715,000 annually, approximately, to the general fund. And I will note that the agenda lists December 31st as the effective date, where the proposed effective date is actually the 30th, which is the beginning of the pay period following today's meeting. So we're asking that it be made effective December 30th, 2023. And I don't have any more comments. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. But that concludes my comments. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Okay, not seeing any questions from the dais. I'll open up public comment. Now's the time for public comment on item 39.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Eddie Lane with the Sierra Club. This is a very welcome development, given the many security issues in Kern County parks without ranger presence. Recently noted was no ranger presence at Lake Wilhelms, with an out-of-control mob there engaging in street takeovers, with the crowd then moving from the lake to Delano and McFarland. In one instance, there was a firearm-mounted laser pointed at a police helicopter, and later a loaded semi-automatic firearm with an illegal extended magazine found when 2 individuals were arrested. As previously noted, the lack of ranger presence in Bell Terrace, Casa Loma, Heritage, Pioneer, and Virginia parks, virtually no ranger presence there. Again, Measure K was passed for public safety, which this item addresses. However, there are a series of unaddressed issues, which the Sierra Club noted in our December 5 letter to the board. 1, the need now for a specific park-by-park, district-by-district action plan for security protection in Kern County parks, with such a plan available to the public. Again, in the city of Bakersfield, rangers patrol every park every day, as well as closing the park at 10 o'clock each night. A related issue, will Kern County end its agreement with Trans West, which closes restrooms when rangers are staffed up? In the interest of transparency, there should be an explanation of what happened between the August budget hearings when General Services indicated that there was 1 park ranger vacancy of 40 positions, and today's report that there's 64% vacancy rate. I'm reading from my past handout here. Signage with numbers to contact park rangers and with follow-up reporting. That's being done with the city. Security cameras. A written maintenance plan for county parks. The implementation of Kern County grand jury recommendations, all related to Hart Park, and we included those with our Sierra Club letter. There were several other Hart Park recommendations that we had that are specific to Hart Park. Thank you for this opportunity. And again, this is a step in the positive direction.
Thank you, Mr. Lane. Okay, next speaker, please, if any. Okay, seeing none, I'll bring this item back to the board for action.
Jeff?
Yeah, Supervisor Perez.
Chair Flores, again, this is very exciting. Eddie, you're spot on, and thank you for this. You've given a lot of thought and time to, giving us some direction from the public about some things to think about, and I think it's incredible. I have a person now from the Bell Terrace community who's been there for decades, whose family's been there for multiple generations, who's very excited about, leading a charge there to begin to formalize these relationships and really I love the idea of the phone number to call and who to get a hold of. We got to tighten up those communication networks, and I just think it'll take us so far. This is very helpful. Thank you, and I'm very happy to make a motion on this recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Perez. And thank you for the second. And lastly, I just want to commend staff and everyone involved with increasing the salaries, because our rangers, although NR has them and the city has them, our rangers are special because they're bona fide law enforcement, so they're at a different level. So this pay is so welcome to recognize their elevated role that they have and the function that they perform to keep our public safe. So thank you. So motion and second, please cast your vote.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Great. Brings us to adjournment. Having no additional items to consider, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn to Monday, January 9th, 2024. Okay.
Chairman, if I could, I was going to, before we adjourn, as part of that motion to adjourn, just congratulate you on first year in office and a successful chairmanship, and appreciate your leadership.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I couldn't have done it without my colleagues, so thank to each and every one of you and for all your help this year.
Should we anticipate a peaceful transfer of power?
Peaceful transfer.
Okay, excellent. We're all together.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that, Philip.
An envelope and flax